Well, it's so nice to have you all here. My name is Lillian Mills. I am Dean of Texas McCombs Business School. And I was telling Mr. Freed that just today, I am working on our reaccreditation documents. And part of the element of reaccreditation is where are you having societal impact? And a shining star in our societal impact is the idea that what starts up here changes the world. And so I am delighted to welcome you to the McCombs School of Business so that we can participate in the Freed Family Pitch Competition finals today. And the mission of the Herb Kelleher Entrepreneurship Center is to make entrepreneurship accessible to Longhorns from all over campus, and the Freed Family Pitch Competition identifies the top undergraduate-led startups and fuels their growth with resources. I appreciate Billy Freed and his family for their generous gift to permanently endow this competition, and as a result, the prizes at the end are the largest non-dilutive funding opportunity at the University of Texas at Austin. So the judges have a very important job today. You're going to hear from 16 teams today, 4 finalists, 12 elevator pitch contestants, and during the finals round, each team will have 10 minutes to pitch, followed by 10 minutes of Q&A with the judges. And I'm looking at these very confident young people who are ready for the Q&A. You're evaluating some key criteria: the problem statement, the solution, the innovation, the achievability, the scalability, and the quality of their presentation. And at the conclusion of all 4 pitches, the judges get to deliberate in private before awards are announced. While they deliberate, the 12 elevator pitch contestants will get 2-minute elevator pitches to a separate judges panel to compete for additional prizes. So I'd now like for our esteemed judges to come on up, take the microphone, and introduce yourselves to the audience and the contestants. And I appreciate Stephen Gray and his team for an excellent year coming up to this pitch competition. Thank you for coming.
Welcome everyone, thank you for having me. My name is Colin Anawati. In 2000, about 26 years ago, I had the privilege of joining McCombs School of Business, and the Herb Kelleher Center of Entrepreneurship was a 1 or 2 office building in the top of the old business school. And it was there that I really kind of got my toe wet in terms of what entrepreneurship meant, got to meet some great friends who are still friends today. And over the last 10 years, I've built and sold 2 companies here in Austin, Texas. One in healthcare to Athena Health, and the second last November to Inspira Financial. Today, I'm the Chief Product Officer at Take Command Health. We're an ICHRA Employer Benefits Administration, and I've led teams up to about 300 in all things product design and technology. So really appreciate Stephen and the team for inviting me here. It's a real privilege to give back, and good luck to the students today.
Good afternoon, everybody. I am super excited to be here. I think this is the 4th different educational institution that I've judged on pitch competitions, so it's always fascinating to me to see how stellar the students are. One of them was a class where Billy Freed used to teach entrepreneurship. So I always love to see the students, and you guys have the best ideas. My name is Stephanie Chandler, and I'm a corporate partner at Jackson Walker. So my practice goes from getting ventures founded and started and set up all the way through exit. And I've done a number of those exits over the years. I think I started practicing in Dallas, but came down to San Antonio after there was a group of people that were putting together the first initial rounds for a little company down there called Rackspace, and worked with them and their investor group all the way through public offering and going private in a number of those different rounds. And I'm one of the few lawyers in Texas, there's about 10 of us that are chambers ranked for working with technology companies. And I really love to watch you guys grow and thrive, and I'm very excited to hear about your businesses today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shaz Rajashekar. I'm so excited to be here today. Also at my alma mater, I did my MBA in 2005 here at UT, and focusing on marketing and on entrepreneurship, and then went on to have a 20-year career more in like the med device world. I was a general manager running about a $500 million business, and then finally in 2022, took the leap and started my own company with my sister. We started a hair care brand called Shaz & Cake, so very different from med device. But it is a Ayurvedic rooted hair care company where we're looking mainly at creating formulas that use natural ingredients and really transform your hair into its healthiest. We sell at Sephora, so now we have quite a bit of retail experience as well. And I'm really excited to be here, and good luck to all of you.
Well, first off, congratulations for Herb Kelleher Entrepreneurship Center to organizing such an amazing event. I'm really looking forward to learning from the finalists what you have to actually concept that you have and presenting today. I can learn something from you all. My name is Amit Sharma. I'm the founder of Narwar. Over 10 years ago, I was just in the same place pitching. Over 60, 70 pitches I've made, and now 10 years later, Narwar, we have, we work in what we call post-purchase SaaS business. We work with a lot of enterprise brands and retailers, and we have raised over $100 million. So I wish you all the best as you come up. You will be next in line for taking your ideas to the next level, and I'm rooting for all of you today to making this an amazing event for you all. Thank you, everyone.
My name is Kurt Wilkin. I am, as of 8 weeks ago, no longer the chairman of Hire Better. We sold our business, so big news there. And I started my entrepreneurship career at school and college, publishing a fraternity and sorority phone book called The Greek Directory. So I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time. I spent a little bit of time at Ernst & Young trying to have a real business, and then I realized I'm not a very good accountant, so I better be an entrepreneur. And I've bought and sold several companies, and I've invested in about 200, including some brands you've heard, like Siete Family Foods or Tecovas Boots, Open Lending, which is a unicorn, but I've invested in a lot of very bad businesses too, so don't let anybody fool you that they can correctly pick the winners every time. But I'm very excited about this. I really feel passionately about entrepreneurship for good, capitalism for good, and I really applaud you guys for taking this course. I'm excited to see what you guys have today.
Hey guys, I'm Tom Walla. I'm the founder of Lumified AI. We're building an AI native monetization platform for LLMs. So think about Google ad plug-in to LLMs with a bunch of brands and agencies on the other side. I spent 25 years working at Dell, VMware, Apple, Toyota, pretty much everywhere in manufacturing and supply chain, and I'm just starting a new professorship at UT. I haven't told you yet. Operations management and supply chain management starting in spring. And then I'm also the mentor in residence at UT McCombs at the Harkey Center, as well as the Herb Kelleher Entrepreneurship Center. So if you guys want to come talk to me, sign up. We do half an hour sessions, and we just hang out, and I help you guys answer kind of whatever questions you have as you kind of progress.
Hey guys, my name is AJ Forsyth. I actually started a company in college that was iPhone repair and insurance, and won the elevator pitch competition as when I was a senior. Day after graduation, moved to Silicon Valley, went through Y Combinator, raised about 50 or 60 million in venture. Ran that company for about probably 9 years, sold it to Allstate. It's a fantastic journey, but if you guys are gonna do this full time, get ready for it. It's wild. And then in 2022, I started a high-end smart chicken coop business. So think chicken coops that have cameras that do a bunch of AI that say, hey, there's 2 raccoons detected, all 6 chickens are safe, the door is closed, you have 8 eggs that can be collected. It's a super fun play with AI and real world enabling anyone to have chickens. And super excited to be back and talk to you guys and give you guys great feedback. It's actually probably bad feedback, so take everything with that with a grain of salt. But thank you so much for having us here. This is gonna be fun.
This year was incredibly competitive, and so to kind of be here today and to have the opportunity to present and showcase the work that you've done on behalf of your venture is a real kind of opportunity to show off your hard work and to show off your ingenuity as well. So I'll stop talking now and let us hear from who we really want to hear from, which is our student founders. So I'm going to welcome up our first team to the stage, Spiceable. So come on up.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Ivy, the founder of Spiceable. Have you ever wanted to create a new recipe, let's say butter chicken, but only to realize you're missing half of the spices? Spiceable creates a new way of cooking. I'm an international student from China. Growing up, my mom cooked for our family 7 days a week. It was her way of showing love, and food was our love language. But after moving to the US when I was 14 by myself, I missed those familiar flavors. When my host family asked me to make an authentic Chinese dish, I was excited to share a piece of home. But soon I realized I didn't have any of the seasonings that I needed. Star anise, Sichuan peppercorn. What should be a quick trip to the grocery store became a scavenger hunt. And by checkout, our cart was full of spices we'd probably never use again. That's when it hit me. There are many people who want to cook better meals at home and explore global cuisines, but sometimes the process can be overwhelming, expensive, and wasteful. That's why I created Spiceable, to bring the world's flavor to your fingertips with all-in-one spice carts. All the spices you need for this one dish are all packed and sealed in the perfect portion in the blister carts that are ready to be popped out into your pot. With a variety of global cuisines to choose from, every cart contains a recipe card, guiding you through exactly what to do with what ingredients. So whether you're making a quick weeknight meal or hosting dinners with friends and family, Spiceable makes it easy and delicious. Just like this, bold flavors under 30 minutes. So how exactly are we solving our customers' pains? We've interviewed over 100 customers and identified 3 main barriers to cook better meals at home. And I think you might relate as well. First, ingredient overload. Many home cooks avoid cooking global cuisines because they don't have the right seasonings. Buying 5 jars for one dish is wasteful and overwhelming. And for this, second, decision fatigue. Studies have shown that people on average spend 43 minutes a day to decide what to eat. Endless recipes online lead to burnouts, not inspiration. Third, confidence barrier. Many people worry that they'll mess up. It's intimidating to try something new. And Spiceable aims to make cooking effortless and exciting again. So for ingredient overload, we provide all-in-one pre-portioned spice cards so people can work with ingredients they already have. And for decision fatigue, we provide instant inspiration with ready-to-cook flavor kits, making deciding what to eat fun and exciting again. And for confidence barrier, we provide step-to-step recipes with simple instructions and cooking videos, so anyone can cook boldly and get it right the first time. Spiceable transforms cooking from a chore into an experience that's fun, flavorful, and confident. And so far, we've had incredible early tractions. We sold at many different showcases and interacted with hundreds of customers. Every batch we've made so far has sold out at places like TEDx UT Austin Startup Showcase and South by Southwest Capital Factory Startup Crawl. We've sold over 150 products so far, and we already generated 4-figure revenue from in-person sales. We also have built a launch list of over 200 eager customers. And what's been even more exciting is the feedback from customers. They've been telling us they love how Spiceable allows them to cook an authentic dish under 30 minutes, and they were able to explore spices and cuisines they never experienced before. The market opportunity for Spiceable is substantial as well. The global ethnic food market is expected to reach $153 billion by year 32, as more consumers are open to explore authentic international flavors. The meal kit delivery market is projected to reach $64 billion by year 2030, with a 15% annual growth rate, driven by an increasing demand for convenience without compromising quality. Spiceable sits right at the intersection between these two booming markets. And zooming into the blended spices market, which is projected to reach $7.2 billion by year 2030. This is where our immediate opportunity lies, and the timing couldn't be better as well. After COVID, there's a resurgence of home cooking. And as we can observe the rise of high-protein food products and the global viral foods like matcha and Dubai chocolate, it's clear that consumers nowadays are more health-conscious and globally curious than ever before. So what are people already doing in the market? If you look at the current market, there are three main ways that people try to cook better meals at home. So first, we have meal kits like HelloFresh. Yes, they do make cooking more accessible and convenient, but we found in many of our customer interviews that these services can feel expensive and have limited flexibility in ingredient pairing. So Spiceable wants to build on top of that convenience and give people more freedom to use whatever they already have in their fridge, and we provide all the flavors. And second, we have spice blends like Spiceology, which provide high-quality flavor profile, but they're mostly sold in large jars, which can feel overwhelming and wasteful. And Spiceable wants to take the same flavor profile and make it simpler, perfectly portioned and easier to experiment with. We also have pre-portioned spice brands like Oko Spices. They do a really good job at curating authentic flavors, but often within limited cuisines. And Spiceable wants to take the idea further by expanding into multiple global cuisines, empowering people to cook Thai one night and Mexican the next, all with the same level of ease and authenticity. And here is how we're going to bring our product to our customers. First, we're starting with farmers market, where people are already looking for fresh, high-quality food products. It's the perfect place to showcase Spiceable, as we're already seeing strong tractions from before. And we've secured our spots at the South Austin markets for the upcoming Saturdays. And at the same time, our team has been working very hard on our e-commerce website. This channel will allow us to reach a nationwide audience of food lovers and home cooks, and we're aiming to launch it next month. In order to reach more customers, we're also planning to collaborate with micro-influencers for consistent social media marketing. And in fact, from previous content marketing, there are already some customers reaching out through Instagram and website to purchase products. This shows real interest and demand. Furthermore, as we scale our distribution, retail is our third phase. Starting from specialty grocery stores and expanding into larger national retailers. This will bring Spiceable to everyday shoppers who are looking for a flavorful yet convenient meal solution. We want to meet our customers where they are and grow with them. Here's our revenue model. So the customers can purchase our card at $12 per unit with 35 servings per card. We also offer a monthly subscription model at $32 for a curated 3-pack. Our current unit cost is around $4 to $5, giving us a 50% profit margin, which provides rooms for future production and packaging upgrades. And within first year post-launch, we aim to acquire 3,000 customers, generating around $140,000 in revenue, with 70% from non-subscribing sales and 30% from subscriptions. And later on, as we layer in new recipes and curated bundles, we aim to increase our repeat purchases and average order value, projecting revenue to triple in year 2. And expanding into specialty and natural grocery stores will position us for multi-million-dollar revenue within 4 to 6 years, a clear and scalable path to growth and profitability. So in order to bring Spiceable to more kitchen, we're raising $20,000 in funding to support our key go-to-market efforts. This will support our packaging upgrades for premium and durability presentation. We'll go to our digital marketing to drive online sales, our manufacturing with new production tools, and also fulfillment and distribution to handle larger order volume. With this funding, we'll be able to unlock our next major milestone within the next 12 months. We plan to launch digital marketing campaigns to reach over 10,000 people and converting 3,000 of them into paying customers. We're ready to take Spiceable to the next step and converting early traction into meaningful revenue. Our team brings together the right mix of expertise and passion as well. We have Maha and Zara on our business development with startup and strategic growth experiences. We also have Joe and Maggie on our UI UX and leading branding and design. And I'm Ivy, a passionate home cook who believes in the power of a warm home-cooked meal. And we've won many pitch competition and grants and graduated from many competitive accelerator programs, including Capital Factory Startup Lab, 40 Acres, SEAL, and received mentorship from top CPG founders and industry experts. We believe we have all the right resources, tools, and the drive to make Spiceable the go-to solution for food lovers and home cooks. And last time when I visited my host family, this is all I brought. And I was able to make an authentic Sichuan stir fry. And it was such a meaningful experience sharing some of my favorite dishes with them. So make home cooking tastier, easier, and healthier for yourself and your loved ones. Thank you.
Okay, so for our next team, we have Part Scout. So come on up, Part Scout.
All right. Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. My name is Chase Erickson, and today I'm excited to show off to you guys Part Scout. Part Scout tells automotive recyclers the exact auto parts worth saving. Every year, 27 million vehicles reach the end of their road and are sent to junkyards to be crushed. This generates over 200 million tons of automotive waste and costs recyclers $7.6 billion a year in landfill fees alone. This is because even some of the most efficient recyclers crush more than 75% of the components in each and every vehicle before they're shredded. This is all because they don't know what parts are in the vehicle, how much they're worth, and how quickly they'd sell. I've seen and experienced this waste firsthand, from the top of the industry as an engineer at General Motors and Ford, all the way going back to working in my family's junkyard at 11 years old. And this waste doesn't just affect the recycler's bottom line, it affects everyone involved. Sellers get pennies on the dollar for their used vehicle, and buyers can't find the affordable auto parts that they need. In fact, at 14 years old, when I was a car buyer for my family's junkyard, more often than not, the person on the other end of the phone was a single mother, just begging and pleading with me for a few extra dollars so she could make up her back rent payment and afford the next week of baby formula before she sold off her last method of transportation. And as much as I wanted to help, I couldn't, because I estimated the value of a vehicle the same way thousands of other recyclers currently do, by the pound, never paying any mind to the unique value of the components in the respective vehicle. And the current software providers are no help. They're all focused on yard management, POS systems, and B2B part marketplaces, not on telling recyclers the value they can extract from the vehicles already in their facility. The fact of the matter is that consolidation of competitive softwares has made the industry stagnant and ripe for change. And this problem is only going to get worse. With over half of the replacement auto part market made overseas, the 25% auto tariff has nearly doubled the cost of getting your vehicle repaired today. And if you can't afford to repair your vehicle, good luck affording a new one, with the average MSRP now climbing past $50,000 and taxes. Meanwhile, recyclers are being squeezed by environmental mandates that are forcing them to produce less waste, yet they can't afford the expensive equipment required to do so. Luckily, with the breakthrough in AI, a solution that was previously impossible is now on the horizon. And in short, we have an industry on the brink of bankruptcy that's responsible for US infrastructure, sustainability, and affordable transportation. Part Scout is a simple solution to this complex problem. We simply tell recyclers what parts to sell. Let's see what this looks like for users.
In with their eBay account and upload a vehicle list, Excel sheet, or just search any car. Let's look at a 2002 Toyota 4Runner. The dashboard instantly shows curb weight, labor cost, and parts that meet our target sell-through and price. It even estimates your ideal bid price and expected profit before you ever buy the car. Once you pull the parts, just add what you removed to your inventory. Then generate a fully optimized eBay listing with correct part numbers, compatibility, and VIN-verified data, ready to post in one click to eBay and the Part Scout marketplace.
Now, how do we do this? Part Scout has three core components. The first is our custom and proprietary interchange that stores all of the parts that we look at and interrelates their cross-compatibility. We built our interchange using free and licensed OEM part catalogs and VIN libraries, focusing not on the core parts like engines and transmissions, as some of the incumbent interchanges do, but on the parts that are currently being destroyed, like electronic modules, plastic interior pieces, and trim. Our then custom-trained AI model scours the internet and figures out how buyers are referring to these parts. This creates a bridge between the complex OEM nomenclature and what buyers are actually searching for. We then take in information from eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Google Search, running it back through our model to filter out the listings that don't match what we're looking for. This allows us to build a forecast of how quickly a part will sell and for how much. And since each eBay user signs in with their account, we're able to confirm whether our suggestions were correct. This builds a strong defensible moat and network effect that allows us to increase pricing accuracy over time. This all boils down to a 62% increase in the profitability of each and every single vehicle. 4 months ago, I launched the first PartScout 1.0 MVP, with none of this complicated AI backend, just a static database of 200,000 parts. And with just one affiliate, a few cold messages, and less than $50 in paid ads, the response was profound. We almost immediately hit $1,200 in ARR. I also then immediately started testing the PartScout suggestions myself, driving to junkyards all across Texas and pulling what it suggested. And as a full-time engineering student, I was still able to manage $13,500 in sales at a 53% profit margin in just 6 weeks. So clearly the tool works. But I also conducted 55 user calls and resolved more than 80 plus software bugs on the site itself. And the feedback was clear. Recyclers loved the tool, but frankly, 200,000 parts just wasn't enough with how many vehicles are on the road. And some of the sell-through data was wrong because at the time, we were not addressing cross-compatibility. These insights led to PartScout 2.0, which now tracks more than 70 million parts and over 850 million search terms. And with our proprietary AI interchange and eBay synchronization, we're now at 93% accuracy on all of our suggestions. We're currently partnered with a network of over 1,800 independent resellers, growing at 100 members a month. And we have an LOI from one of the largest recycling facilities in Texas upon completion of their new facility in Dallas. PartScout operates on a SaaS business model with 3 tiers. The first we give away for free as a lead magnet to expand our network effect and get connected to as many eBay accounts as possible. The second is our Pro plan. At $150 a month, this targets the independent resellers and gives them full access to the tool up to 500 vehicle searches. Our Enterprise plan at $450 a month removes all limits. Based on PartScout 1.0's cost of acquiring a customer and ascension rate, we estimate that PartScout 2.0 will collect $336.85 per customer in the first 31 days. That's a 14.5 times return on ad spend and a clear signal that we can manage a self-sustaining growth cycle. There are currently 25,000 independent resellers in the United States, Australia, and Canada. At $150 a month, that's a $45 million D2C market. Add another 9,350 commercial recyclers at $450 a month, and the total market hits nearly $95 million in annual recurring revenue. With 1,800 members already in our network, we're aiming to hit 5,000 users and $11.5 million in ARR in the next 5 years. Since we're also already a confirmed eBay affiliate partner, we earn 3% commission on all sales through our site. That's over $503 million on a 3% commission of an industry that's selling over $200 billion in parts a year. Our go-to-market strategy is simple and really just scaling what already worked for a much worse PartScout 1.0. From the $20,000 prize pool, $8,500 will go towards finishing off the compute to scale up our AI interchange. The $5,000 from Jackson Walker will go towards the protection of our proprietary interchange. We'll then take $5,000 and give it to our community of independent resellers to film and post videos of PartScout working in action. We then turn those, the best of them, into our meta ad creatives and spend another $5,000 on that. Then we plan to aggressively capture the commercial market in the next 24 to 48 months. Now, as fun as it is to flash these impressive growth metrics and show off the traction PartScout has already had, I think it's important to stay grounded in something practical. A business is only worth as much as the pain it resolves. And while I won't ask you to go walk through a junkyard yourself and see the pain that I saw growing up in one, I'd like to paint that picture for you. Over the summer, I needed somebody to pull parts while I was at work. So I posted a gig ad on Craigslist, and my inbox was immediately flooded. Not just with applications, but with pleas for the opportunity to work. That's how I met Myron. Myron had worked at a junkyard in Mississippi for 20 years before it went bankrupt due to this wastefulness. His wife and 2 little boys were now homeless, and they were living out of the back of a U-Haul in Dallas. With 3 weeks left in my internship, I gave him access to Part Scout, and by the end of it, he was doing $2,200 a week in sales. So, in your consideration of the value of Part Scout, I ask you to imagine what it would be like after leaving this beautiful venue amongst such great company, what it would feel like to not be able to afford the care your wife needs, or the food for your family. What would it feel like to sleep in the back of a U-Haul in the Texas July heat? And then, how relieving would it be to make $2,200 a week for the first time in your entire life? That's the value Part Scout facilitates, and while I'll continue to relentlessly work to transform this $100 billion industry. Thank you.
All right, so for our next startup, we're going to welcome up to the stage Synaptics. So come on up, Synaptics.
All right, so hi, my name is Ayon.
Hi, my name is Sharik.
Hi, my name is Haziq.
इस दवा से चक्कर आती है. You probably didn't get a single word from what I just mentioned. And this was describing the patient's symptoms. Now, this is a very shared reality between patients and clinicians who don't share a language. Not only does this delay care, but it also increases risks at the consenting process and patient discharge. And it oftentimes leaves clinicians finishing their notes and charting solely from memory, sending patients home without clear instructions on what to do after their visit. Synaptics bridges this issue in one workflow with real-time medical interpretation, a 6th grade patient language summary in their native language, and finally, clinician-approved soap notes ready for charting, all whilst being integrated into the EHR, otherwise known as the Electronic Health Record System. So why now, and what are the problems that are currently going on in the status quo? So we know language discordance breaks care down in 3 main places. First, with understanding. So we know that specific nuances oftentimes get lost. Things such as symptom characteristics, patient symptoms, the timing of their systems are often underrepresented. And we also know that limited English proficient patients, also known as LEP patients, face a higher risk of adverse events during the consenting process, discharge, and also handoffs. Number 2, what do we see? We see the increasing documentation burden. So we know that clinicians spend extreme and crazy after hours doing their charting and also doing their notes. And so because of this, they want to speed up their process. And number 3, we see a system gap inherently in America's healthcare system. So we know that interpretation is a conversational service, not a data service. So why don't we treat it as such? There are no patient language artifacts, no dual language documentation, and also nothing that explains things simply to patients in their native language. And on top of that, there is no EHR audit trail, so you can't even see which doctors or nurses are editing and adding on to protected health information of patients, which is a huge crisis. So our solutions, what is Synaptics and what are we doing? Synaptics merges this issue in real-time medical interpretation software with dual language documentation and the ambient clinically approved note. And so as you can see here, with our 4 main solutions that all derive from clinician pain points. And we conducted various interviews with clinicians from different specialties. And Shark will also expand upon this later. So why now? What is currently going on in the status quo, and why is Synaptics the perfect fit for the current market? Well, number 1, we see an improvement in technology. So we know with new and improved automated speech recognition, ASR, as well as neural translations, plus new improvements in EHR APIs, also now becoming HIPAA compliant, they now have low enough latency for live translation. And number 2, what do we see? We also see improvements in the behavioral shift and a growing behavioral shift. So as I mentioned earlier, clinicians spend an absurd amount of time after hours doing their charting. And so because of this, they want to speed up the process and also add on to this by using more emerging softwares in clinical spaces. So we already know that with AI scribing, it's currently scaling very fast. but the language gap in itself is still not addressed properly. And so Synaptics is going to ride this ambient wave and close the comprehension loop. Now, third, we see regulatory tailwinds. So what exactly does this mean? Well, we know states are now further enforcing the Affordable Care Act's Section 1557, which mandates that language access must be provided to limited English proficient patients, and also on top of this, the need to document that the comprehension occurred on the patient's side. And number four, what do we finally see? We see competitor signals. So as I mentioned earlier, we know AI clinical tools are scaling fast. However, still, the AI leading scribes still say, use a translator. So with Synaptics' specific niche with real-time medical interpretation, as well as the dual language documentation, and keeping the clinician in control is exactly why Synaptics is needed in the current market.
So what does our minimum viable product currently look like? So the doctor goes onto the platform and begins a live session with their patient in their respective language. And real-time interpretation takes place in both their respective languages and their voices, so the conversation feels personal. As this conversation goes on, our AI system is able to categorize the conversation into SOAP notes, which is known as a medical standard for all physicians. Any complex medical terminology from the conversation is simplified in the after-visit summary, not only in the patient's respective language, but also considering cultural contexts that are important for the interaction. Lastly, all of these notes are ready to be sent to the EHR system. When dealing with EHR systems, one big barrier is HIPAA compliance, and that's one thing we're considering heavily. We want to invest in the right legal team and the correct technical architecture in order to comply with HIPAA compliance and also integrate with these EHR and EMR systems. Now, in doing this, there's two main parts. The first is EHR reading, which would allow Synaptics to extract information from these EHR and EMR systems. Next, we have EHR writing, which would allow Synaptics to send data to these EHR and EMR systems. One big part of what we're doing is using an aggregator, which is one single application programming interface, which would allow Synaptics to connect with different vendors like Athena and Epic through just one single API. In terms of our traction, we extensively spoke to doctors and interviewed them on their current workflow and found that most of them do want Synaptics in their workflow. And here are some testimonials from doctors from different backgrounds, all the way from small private practices to big names like Memorial Hermann. Currently, we have one beta testing contract signed, which is paid, and they're willing to test our product as we move into EHR and EMR compliance.
Because Synaptics is a software as a service, we will be using a monthly subscription fee of $850 per clinic. Now, again, additionally, because we are software, we have very low cost of goods sold, which gives us gross margins of about 90%, and a low customer acquisition cost because we rely on organic methods, such as word of mouth, referral systems, and that gets us to $100 to $300 with the low payback period as well, because we can spread that out. And then lastly, looking into our lifetime value, we plan on being very sticky and user-friendly because we can integrate with EHR and EMR systems, and that gets us to about $24,000. Now, how do we look at our market size? So if we look here on the left, you can see our TAM of 2.3 billion. The way we segmented that out is because we did heavy validation with customers spanning from enterprises all the way to private clinics. And they told us that it's much more easier to penetrate the private clinic markets because there's much less bureaucracy. Moving on to our SAM, that's 704 million, and the way we segmented that is by geography. So based off the Texas area, we looked at Houston, Dallas, Austin, and that's how we would be able to segment that. And then lastly, you can see here about a 2.17 market share, and that gets us to our SOM based off our current go-to-market. Now moving on to our competition, here on the top left, you can see systems such as Google Translate and Language Line Solutions. And the thing about this is that they don't have the workflow integrations that we do, and they can't communicate with the EHR and EMR systems. Now looking here at the top right, companies like Nabla, Suki, Nuance, Ambient, the main thing about these is that they don't provide bilingual solutions like we do. They can't translate that data and send it back and forth with the EMR and EHRs. And then on the bottom right, we can see Google Voice, Alexa, and then also ChatGPT. Now, the main thing about these is that these aren't HIPAA compliant. And then lastly, Epic, Meditech, and then Cerner. The main things about these is that we will be integrating with them, and they don't have the automation flow until we actually integrate with them. Moving on to our go-to-market, we have a two-pronged approach. So number one, just direct B2B sales, where we will utilize our warm referral network. And then secondly, looking at channel distribution. So what exactly does that mean? So using aggregators and then using our EHR and EMR systems, their marketplaces, to be able to cross-promote our products. And then here on the bottom, you can see kind of just the scale of how that will look. Now moving on to our team. Here at the top, you guys can see the executives, which compose of us. In the middle, you can see our engineers. And then lastly, here are our advisors on the bottom, which span from industries, IT integrations, all the way to healthcare business.
हम लोग $20,000 raise कर रहे हैं.
Shark English.
Sorry, we're trying to raise $20,000 in order to reach key compliance milestones such as HIPAA compliance, which will actually allow us to integrate with private practices.
So that way, when Sharik and his doctor speak in Urdu next time, both he and his doctor can feel understood and connected using Synaptics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our last finals startup for today is Gradients. So welcome, Gradients.
Meet Ms. Thomas, a high school Algebra 1 teacher who focuses on helping 120 students learn equations and graphs every day. However, after a long day of meetings, teaching, and lesson planning, she comes home to only be greeted by a large stack of papers that have to be graded. Due to this, she faces work-life imbalance, the pressure to meet student needs, and an overwhelming workload, which finally erupts into teacher burnout. However, Ms. Thomas is not the only one. Meet Mr. Brown, a high school physics teacher, Ms. Jones, a Algebra 2 teacher, and Mrs. Riley, a Algebra 1 high school teacher. And this is not some coincidence between these four teachers. This is a pandemic where over 500,000 educators have left the field since 2020. And this is not the only alarming fact. Teachers spend over 400 hours a year on grading, and 75% of teachers report having stress-related issues. Just take a minute to think about that. But what if grading didn't have to be an issue? What if teachers could spend less time grading and more time focusing on what they love, teaching? I'm Ronak, and my co-founder Akshat and I build Gradients for this. Gradients is an end-to-end web application that enables math and science teachers to automate the grading process. This can be broken down into 3 steps: upload, grade, and analyze. In the upload step, a teacher can create the grading criteria for the assignment. This is very open-ended for the sole purpose that they can tell Gradients how the assignment should be graded and what the grading criteria should look like. Next, the teacher can upload the assignment where they put one single PDF of all the students' work, and our system will automatically assign each PDF to the correct student. After that, the teacher can click one single button, and it can grade 20, 30, and even 100 assignments within 60 seconds. And we also built a confidence metric, so if any questions are graded with low confidence, we can flag the question so the teacher can review it. Alongside with the score, we make sure to provide detailed feedback for each student. This enables Gradients to be not just a tool for teachers, but a tool for students to use and learn from. And finally is the Analyze feature. After talking to 30 to 40 different teachers, we realized that a major part of grading is to understand the major misconceptions that teachers face, that students face within the classroom. That's why a teacher can once again click one single button, and this will generate a feedback report of the misconceptions and positives. This allows teachers to tailor the lesson plannings towards the students' needs. Additionally, we have all the student metrics, such as average score or pass rate, and a score distribution for all the assignments. Now, it's important to consider the FERPA, the legal considerations within the edtech industry, as this can make or break the platform. So at Gradients, we are fully committed to FERPA compliance, which means that all of personal identifying information is encrypted using standard policies. Additionally, the teacher is in control of all the data. If they want to remove an assignment or if they want to remove a student from Gradients, they can do that, and that will erase all the data within our database. So for the market size, Gradients, for our SOM, we have 7.5 million students in Texas, which yields $210 million. For our SAM, we have 73.5 million students in the US, which yields $2 billion. And for our TAM, we have 1.7 billion students in the world, which yields $47.6 billion. Alongside with this market size, it's important to consider that the edtech market is going to grow by $184 billion by the year 2030. That's double the amount that it's currently at right now. Now for our business model. So we are going to have a scalable SaaS business model where each student will be priced at $28 per year. And this is a high profitable margin, as each student will cost us about 90 cents per year. And this can be broken down to having about 3 cents per submission, and we approximate about 30 submissions per year per student. This will yield a 96% gross profit margin. For our unit economics, our lifetime value is $84 per student, and our customer acquisition cost is $14 per student. And then for our overall revenue model, we want to have an annual school contract, and for our pilot testers, we want to give them a discounted rate to show them their appreciation. So for the go-to-market strategy, we have so far leveraged personal connections, including our middle schools and high schools. We've also cold emailed 200 plus different teachers, and we specifically targeted charter and magnet schools for the sole purpose that they are more willing to try new technologies compared to the traditional public schools. And finally, we want to go to EdTech conferences and bring Gradients to a more global and national level. So with this go-to-market strategy, what tractions have we achieved so far? We've conducted 4 client meetings, with one of the clients being Allen High School, one of the largest public schools within Texas. And through this collaboration, we got 400 plus different questions and answer pairs, which allowed us to achieve a 96% grading accuracy. Additionally, we have realized that Gradients can reduce grading time by 80%. So that 400 hours per year can go to 80 hours per year, which is a huge difference. And finally, we've also made sure that we listen to the teachers and what they want within Gradients. That's why we built the teacher upload feature, the student file upload feature, and the AI analysis. Now for our competitive analysis. Our 3 major competitors are StarGrader, GradeWiz, and Frizzle. Our first major competitive advantage is accountability and oversight. We understand that AI has its limitations. That's why we built this confidence metrics, so then teachers can trust Gradients more. Next is class insight. We understand that teachers want to know what are the major gaps within a student, so why not make that easy for them? Next is global adoption. We are currently partnering up with a teacher in Mumbai, and this kind of shows that grading is not just a problem within the United States, but is a problem faced by teachers all across the world. And finally, ease of use. The Gradients can be well integrated within the platform, so teachers don't have to do any extra work. So why is now the right time to build Gradients? Teacher burnout, there's a huge teacher burnout crisis, and EdTech market is growing. Next, technology is continuing to grow. With the advancement of large language models and computer vision models, Gradients can ride the wave that these models create. And finally, a strong team. Akshit and I have known each other for over 8 years and have built multiple different projects together. Additionally, we have profound technical skills and have also done a lot of different experiences within the education industry. Now for our ask. For milestone 1, we want to get the iKeep Safe FERPA certification and the cybersecurity insurance. And this is critical to bring Gradients to larger public schools, as many IT departments within these schools want these insurances. Next is educational conferences for milestone 2. This will help us network, allowing us to bring Gradients to larger populations. And finally, legal aid. We want to build contracts between Gradients and the school, between the school. Join us to revolutionize education one classroom at a time. Thank you, and I'll open the room up for questions.
Okay, so in just a few short minutes, the judges are going to walk into the green room to deliberate and to make their decisions. But while they're off deliberating, you'll have a chance as an audience to vote for the Audience Choice Award. So there will be an additional prize that'll be allocated based on the startup that receives the most votes. So you can go out to slido.com and register essentially which of the 4 finalists you would like to choose for that Audience Choice Award. After you've had a few minutes to go out there and log in your votes, we'll reconvene here in a few minutes to begin our elevator pitch round. So take a brief break to do our vote and get our elevator pitch round ready to go, and then we'll kick that into gear. So have the judges join me in the back green room once you've finalized your thoughts, and we'll begin deliberation there. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you, thank you. First of all, big congratulations and thanks to all the presenters today. Awesome job. We went through an extensive deliberation in the green room to pick our kind of winners for this year's 2025 Free Family Pitch Competition. So without further ado, I will go ahead and announce the winners. So for the winners, as you are called up to the stage, what we'll do is hand you a nice big check, take a quick picture, and then our judges have agreed to offer some helpful feedback for you to consider going forward. Okay? All right. So in 4th place for this year, 2025 Freed Family Pitch Competition, the 4th place winner is Gradients. Okay. Our 3rd place winner this year is Synaptics. Okay, so we are down to our final 2 awards, 1st and 2nd place. We actually announced the winner of the award first because it will be kind of spoiled by that. So the 2025 Freed Family Pitch Competition Grand Prize winner for this year is Part Scout. That means our 2nd place winner and the $10,000 award for that goes to Spiceable. All right, one more big round of applause for all of our presenters today. Want to take some time to thank our judges for being here today, for braving Austin traffic, for somehow finding a parking spot, for sharing your wisdom and encouragement with our student founders. So thank you to the judges. Certainly want to thank our sponsors one more time, the Freed family, for making this an annual event that is so energizing and inspiring for us as staff and faculty, and providing this stage for students to really shine on. So thank you to the Freed family. And grateful also to Jackson Walker for donating some important and needed legal services to our finalists today. So that'll be a big win for them. All right, so that wraps it up today. We have a nice reception laid out in the atrium here, so please join us and chat and continue the conversation then. Thank you all again for coming out. We really appreciate it.